Hello everyone, the Son of the West again. I'd like to talk to you today about entheogens and overcoming the church's deception. They call the devil the deceiver for a reason. Organized religion and our government are nothing more than Yagog and Magog, which are Satan's generals. Okay, now understand that, as I said before, the real church is your own body, and mind. Okay, that is your true temple. Okay, where God is found, not some building that's made by man. This is why Jesus said, "Congratulations to you when you are hated and persecuted, and no place will be found wherever you have been persecuted." That's the Gospel of Thomas, number 68. The Gospel of Thomas was not included in the Bible because they said it was written after the Bible. But that's also a deception. We find proof of that deception in saying number 1, which says, "And he said, whoever discovers the interpretation of these sayings will not taste death." That saying itself, that's number 1. That saying itself says that he knew of that recording of his sayings, which was the way that wisdom was taught in that day and age. It was through spoken word. He knew of the recording of his sayings and approved them as a means of passing his true message to others who were out of reach of his spoken words, and also as a way to continue guiding others who chose to walk his path after the end of his time in this illusionary world. Yet with his true message so clearly written in easy to understand words, I have yet to find an organized religion which even references it. Now, this is because it's much easier to mislead and confuse those who are still on the outside thinking mind, or the autopilot, the mind of selfishness and ego. Okay, those who are just babes in Christ are easy to mislead and confuse, and therefore, if you're confused, you're going to constantly go back to them for clarification and understanding, and they can further mislead you and keep you trapped, and all the while collect offerings from you. Okay, so it's not about you finding God, it's about you giving them your money. Okay, the next time you have a question about that, just look at what kind of car your pastor drives and go to his house and see how big his house is. They're living lives of lavishness. It's not about humbleness. Okay, it's not about selflessness. Okay, so as I said before, they don't want to make it easy for you to find God within, because when you do, they will lose their power over you, and they will lose their comfort and control. Okay, now I've been pretty harsh about the Bible, but I'm not saying it isn't true. I'm just saying that it takes a mystic awakening before many of the inner truths and messages can be fully understood. What's a mystic awakening? Mystics use entheogens, such as psilocybin mushrooms, to plumb the depths of the self in pursuit of emptiness, as they explored consciousness itself, and in that they awoke to the divine will. They became one with the divine will. Now, organized religion has deemed deemed entheogens the forbidden fruit. Okay, so that you won't try to find them. So you'll think that they are made by the devil. And in fact, they said that Jesus got his power from the devil before they crucified him. So the truth is they have chosen not to awaken you, not to allow you to see the inner truths of the message, because they don't want you to know the message. They want to be the only one who can give you the message, and they want to control you in that way. So, in fact, like, take for example, in fact, the Bible begins with, let there be light. Well, Genesis 1 through 31 is the creation parable of the heavens and the earth, referring to the differences between the spirit and the flesh, the heavens being spirit and the earth being flesh. Okay, energy combined with material, and that's what we all are. We are all spirit and body. Okay, the material acting as a cradle for the energy seed, which is God's child, the seed of energy within you that powers your whole body. Okay, darkness on the face of the deep and let there be light refers to the darkness or the ignorance of the material self and cradle, or the ego. Light, energy, and seed refer to enlightenment or realizing the truth and your true self within. Let there be truth. Out of ignorance and darkness springs enlightenment and light. St. John of the Cross referred to a long dark night of the soul, which is in itself a reference to the true nature of energy trapped in matter at the control of the ego and the autopilot, or the true you being used to power the material self, and a reference to the awakening of awareness as one shifts from ignorance of truth, the dark night, trapped in illusion or Maya, to realizing the truth, seeing through the illusion or Maya, and becoming enlightened. In my enlightenment, I have realized my energy is of God. It is God's seed. It was planted in material so it may grow. Okay, it grows to perfection through experiences both good and bad. Those experiences are experiences that we choose. We are given an opportunity to make choices and experience the outcome of those choices, regardless of whether it be good, helpful, harmful, good, bad, whatever you choose to call it. Learning how to make good decisions is something that you got to learn through experience. So when we leave this world, when we are finally capable of being born to God in heaven, we're going to be experienced enough to make good choices. He's not going to have to yell. He can just enjoy all the good that life is with his children. As a parent, most people will understand this. You only want what's best for your kids, but you know that they have to learn how to make their own decisions for themselves. And all you can do is give them advice and hope they make the right decisions. And that's what God does. God gives us advice and allows us to choose what to do with it, whether we ignore it or we take it to heart. Okay, like all seeds, my seed was planted in a dormant condition. See Kundalini, awaiting the proper conditions to flourish. Yet little did I know that weeds, the ego, and the desires ingrained in our minds through society's desires, what they want you to do, has cluttered my soil. Thankfully, God, the plant from which I sprang, already knew of this problem and provided weed killer and fertilizer in the form of psilocybin mushrooms, through which I was able to kill the weed, society's programming, which had taken root and was choking me, preventing my spiritual growth, simply by ingesting the miraculous fruit. As the weed began to die, it made me think that I was the body and I was dying, to trick me into preserving its life. But once I let go of trying to survive, God removed me from the material just long enough for the weed, which was consuming my energy to live, to perish. When God returned me, his seed, to the material, the weed was gone and I was enlightened. This experience was bar none the greatest moment of my life. Okay, now, why would organized religion and the governments of the world not want you to have this experience? To answer that question, my friends, you must see them as they truly are, Yagog and Magog, trying to keep you imprisoned.